Welcome to today's explainer, everybody. We all have routines, right? Stuff we just do every single day without even giving it a second thought. But I was absolutely fascinated to learn what's actually happening under the hood. Today, we're going to explore the biological architecture of how we build habits. We're looking at exactly how a brand new behavior gets wired, literally, permanently, into our daily lives. Let's get into it. So, why do we do the things we do? I really want you to think about that for a second. Why do you automatically reach for that cup of coffee the second you wake up or, habitually check your phone? Well, today we are literally looking inside your head to uncover the biological answer to that exact question. Because guess what? It's not just about willpower or discipline, it is all about biology. Okay, let's dive into this. Here's our brain manager's itinerary for optimizing our daily actions. 1. Meet your brain's manager. 2. Dopamine and serotonin explained. 3. The three-step habit loop. And 4. Running on autopilot. All right, section 1. Meet your brain's manager. Imagine a manager trying to optimize a literal biological factory floor. Our source material lays it out perfectly. Today, we are looking inside your head to see why we do the things we do. You really got to picture your brain as this kind of overworked, stressed out manager running a highly complex biological factory floor. Think about it. Processing thousands of conscious decisions every single day requires a massive amount of caloric energy. So the manager's whole job is to figure out which of those decisions can be automated just to save that critical energy. But, how does this manager actually get the factory workers to listen? Well, the manager's main tool for getting things done isn't a sternly worded email or some memo tacked up in the break room. Actually, it's a highly specialized chemical delivery system. The brain uses these specific chemicals to motivate actions, basically rewarding the biological factory floor for doing things right. And eventually, that turns those actions into automated habits. Let's move to section 2. Dopamine and serotonin explained, and see how this builds as we introduce the two absolute star employees of our brain's workforce. To understand these star employees, we kind of have to understand what they actually do. Basically, they create a reward signal. The research defines this as specific neurotransmitters functioning as internal chemical signals to drive and motivate behavior. You can think of these internal reward signals as the literal currency the brain manager uses to pay its workforce. It's that immediate, awesome internal high you get when you finally cross a tough item off your to-do list. It's your body's way of signaling, yes, that was good. Definitely do that again. Now, let's look at how these two chemicals differ, because they have very, very distinct personalities. Dopamine is the lightning bolt of motivation. It's super fast, it's incredibly energetic, it's that sudden, intense rush that gets you up and moving right towards a goal. But on the other hand, serotonin is the Zen circle of calm. It is steady, it's peaceful, and it provides this deep, lasting sense of satisfaction and well-being once the goal is actually achieved. And this brilliantly illustrates how the brain manager balances these two completely different chemicals to govern our daily actions. I mean, you absolutely need the lightning bolt of dopamine to get you to take action in the first place, right? But then you need the Zen circle of serotonin to make you feel satisfied enough to actually lock in that behavior. Working together, they organize your motivation and literally forge those neural pathways into lasting behavioral pattern. Moving on to section 3, the three-step habit loop. This right here is the official biological operations manual for the brain. So, how does a brand new habit actually get built from scratch? Well, it follows a very strict biological operations manual. Step 1 is conscious decision-making. This is when our manager is heavily involved, essentially micromanaging and spending a ton of energy to force you to do a new task. Step 2 is the internal reward signaling. You do the task, and boom, the manager deploys dopamine and serotonin to pay you for your hard work. And step 3, this is the magic moment, transitioning to an automated routine. The brain connects the action to the reward so strongly that it creates a deeply ingrained neural architecture, and it completely stops needing the manager's constant supervision. So the crucial point is really about delegation. All actions start with intense, conscious effort. But once your neurotransmitters reward the behavior, the brain effectively delegates the task away from the active decision-making centers, and the pattern becomes permanent. The manager has successfully offloaded the task. That factory floor is now running that machine entirely by itself. And that brings us to section 4, running on autopilot, the final stage of the manager's master plan and the sweet, sweet relief of biological delegation. Autopilot is the ultimate biological goal, where automated routines function entirely without conscious decision-making. Honestly, you really can't blame the brain manager here.
I mean, after dealing with thousands and thousands of choices every single day, the overworked manager's ultimate dream is just to put as many tasks as possible on autopilot so it can finally kick back and take a well-deserved coffee break. It is literally the peak of biological efficiency.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how it translates back to your everyday life. Understanding this neural architecture allows you to see exactly how your raw motivation transforms into lasting, totally effortless patterns. When you finally realize that your habits are really just a combination of conscious choices being constantly reinforced by chemical reward signals, wow, you suddenly gain the power to reverse engineer the whole process. Remember, you are the ultimate architect of that factory floor. So, I want to leave you with a provocative question to ponder today. What routines is your brain's manager currently running on autopilot? Are they routines that actually serve you? Or, are there a few outdated factory processes in there that desperately need a conscious overhaul? Think about those lightning bolts and Zen circles driving your day. Thanks so much for joining me in this explainer, guys, and I really hope you leave today with a brand new perspective on the incredible machine inside your head.